Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Ayer Board of Selectmen meeting for April 3rd, 2018. I hope everybody had a fantastic Easter holiday. And can we all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have any agenda amendments or anything like that?
I don't.
Okay.
I make a motion that the agenda be approved as submitted.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I do have a warrant.
Oh, you want to make the announcement
For the warrant.
Oh, okay, the warrant. I didn't see it on there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, review warrant.
Same place it always is.
I actually emailed Robert and asked if Representative Benson was coming, and he's like, yeah, 7:45. It's been on the agenda all week. No, I somehow missed it.
Okay, so tonight on behalf of the Board of Selectmen, I signed the accounts payable warrant number 18-18 in the amount of $3,746,979.57. Did everybody catch that? Okay.
You got the gist of it.
Just didn't roll off my tongue very well.
And then what else do we have? Oh, that's water and sewer.
Yeah, I don't think there were any other announcements.
Okay. Is there the parking? The snow ban's done, right? Is that over with, Chief? The snow ban, the parking, did that end first of the month?
April 15th.
Oh, April 15th. All right, so don't park on the road. Hopefully it doesn't snow again. But anybody here for public input? Oh, Mark.
Am I allowed to? I'm not public, but I just wanted to mention that with the PFAS contamination at Crow Pond Well, we sent out public notices last week. We posted information on the town website if anyone hasn't seen it. But when it was an inadvertent error, we sent it out to all the residents, but missed the businesses. So we're taking care of that this week. So.
Okay.
I talked to a couple business people, and they said they hadn't seen anything, and so I checked the list. So, but if anyone wants to read the information, the well that's contaminated is offline. We took it offline about a month ago, and so we're looking at what our options are now. So,
Okay. Are we going to discuss that later, Robert? Are we going to discuss that at all later, or is that later date?
I think in the context of the water and sewer,
Yeah.
there's a
Okay.
slide on that.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Mark, you can return.
That's why you left.
oh, I thought someone else might want to speak.
No.
So I wanted to give recognition to, this is David Nelson Jr. He's one of our wastewater operators. In public works, water and wastewater treatment, we're really going to start seeing a workforce shortage in the next 5 years, because there's a lot of guys my age that are retiring, and we're not
Makes
seeing.
it sound like you guys are ancient, geez.
We're not seeing the young people coming in, and David's really stepped up, and he's really jumped into the job. You probably don't realize that to be a wastewater treatment operator, you need to be a biologist, a chemist, a mechanic, a computer technician. So it's a pretty complicated job. So David took a year-long course. It's the Massachusetts Wastewater Management Training Program. It was a lot of work. He successfully completed it. Some of the topics they cover are finance and budgeting, working with the media, wastewater safety, regulations and permitting, performance management, and asset management. So I just wanted to recognize him for accomplishing this. This is above and beyond, and it really prepares him and really helps the town.
Absolutely.
No, congratulations.
Awesome. Thank you.
How was it?
you have a camera?
You betcha.
Everybody has a camera nowadays, Mark.
Let me go with the chair here.
David, was it a hard
Move the
course?
chair out of the way.
A good course.
Yeah.
Very educational.
Yeah, cool. Do we have to give him a raise now, too?
All right. Well done, David. One more. Great.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
I know.
And if residents haven't been down there, it's an interesting building, to say the least. There's a lot going on down there. It's, like I said, a lot going on. Is that it? Is Mark on the agenda for anything else? Or
He will be
water and
when we do
sewer,
the
right?
water. Yep.
Chief. Chief? You're almost a board member now, Chief.
I know. We go long periods of time not seeing it, and now we can't seem to not see it.
This is just the first time tonight. Good evening, everybody. Excuse me, this is Donald Trink,
Hi, Donald. How are you?
Hi.
Chairman Hillman, Janice Livingston, the Vice Chair. We're here tonight, are here tonight to respectfully request that Donald be appointed to the position of full-time dispatcher to fill the last slot that we have open. He'll be one of part of that regionalization, fill that hole type of thing. Regionalization dispatch. So Donald grew up mostly in there, not all in there, but most of the time he was spent in there. He graduated from Ayer High School. Currently resides on Grove Street. He's currently enrolled in Middlesex Community College, studying liberal arts. After high school, he went over and worked at the cottage for a little while, and then went into the Navy and became an aircraft weapons specialist.
Oh, an AW?
I was in AO.
AO, okay, yeah.
Ordnance.
That sounds important, I'm
It
sure.
is.
I know.
Well, just reading, I thought it was important.
For the rest of us.
I have a special fondness, for the Navy.
No, that's great. Absolutely.
And then after being discharged, he moved back to the area, and he currently works over at Hollingsworth and Boats. Donald doesn't have any experience, but that doesn't stop us from hiring him anyway. He comes highly recommended. If you remember, we hired Max Goodwin not too recently, also out of the Navy, and we got Donald's recommendation from Max, so that's why he's here before you tonight. Donald will need to be fully trained, and we get all the training in-house that we have to offer. I recommend he be appointed effective April 17th at a step 1 dispatcher grade, contingent upon successfully passing background, investigation, drug testing, and field training. And I would just like to point out that Donald's wife Erica is in the audience in support, as well as members of my staff, Max, Chris, and Brian, Brian Gill.
Yeah, no, thank you for all attending.
Quick question, did your father go to Air High?
Yes, he did.
Okay, I knew him.
Oh, yeah. He lives in Shirley now.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
I think
Yeah,
it's-
when I saw your name, I'm like, which one's coming before us here?
No, I think it's great. I think it also being in town it gives you a little bit of a leg up too, knowing the area too. I would think would be beneficial, knowing all the streets and.
And we've tried doing more of that, of bringing people
Yeah.
who live in town
Sure.
come work for us. I think it's just better off.
Absolutely.
How long were you in the Navy?
5 years.
5 years. Nice. Great. Navy's taken over the former Army town. Yes.
I agree with that actually. Did you say April 17th, Chief?
April 17th, yes.
Just step
I'm going
one.
to give Donald some
Yep.
time to give notice to his employee.
Okay. You want me to do it? You want me to make
You
a
can do
motion?
it since
All
you
right,
were writing it
I'm a little rusty, these motions lately. It's Trink is the last, is that how you pronounce his name?
Yes.
I would like to make a motion to appoint Donald J. Trink to the full-time dispatcher position for the regional dispatch, effective April 17th, starting at a step 1, assuming he passes everything the chief listed with training and background checks.
Seconded?
All in favor?
Aye.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
You look like
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Get a bunch of good guys you're working with down there.
I know. Have you filled everything now, or?
Everything's done.
All right.
Sort of, no, not everything's done. One of our per diems backed out at the last minute that the board had appointed, so we'll be looking for that person to fill that slot. But that's not an absolute slot.
And you're up and you're operational, I noticed. I saw the photos.
We are the regional PSAP now, so we're taking all the 911 calls from Shirley full-time.
Great.
With
Good
2
work.
dispatchers every shift to handle that.
Good work. That was a lot of work on your part. And
Oh, it's not over, that's just that part. Then now we're working for the regionalization.
Yep.
Technical full dispatch, hopefully within 30 days.
great.
Wow.
A lot of
Great.
work.
Well, I commend you on that. As
Oh,
we
thank
sat on those meetings, we know who was doing the legwork and making things happen. So shout out to you and
Thank you,
Lieutenant Gill.
appreciate that. So my next item, I'd like to bring to the attention of the board that April 8th through the 14th is National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week. These folks deserve much more than a week, but that's all the nation will give them. In recognition, I would really like the board to publicly acknowledge the hard work and the dedication of our dispatchers. You should be in there and really appreciate how much they do. 2 dispatchers really isn't enough to handle everything they do. And I think it would go a long way, especially with this regionalization coming up and all the changes that are going to go through. I know they're going to step up to the challenge, but I think it'd be really nice if you guys could recognize them. I have 2 in the audience, Chris and now our new guy, and Max. So it seemed to be a nice thing for the board to publicly recognize them.
I can't imagine doing the job. I know it's people think you just answer the phones, and I know it's just so much more pressure, almost stress. I mean, deal with situations. So I commend all of you for what you do. It's not an easy position, and we have no complaints from anybody from dealing with this town, and I don't suspect we ever will. So it's you guys do a fantastic job. It's much appreciated by everyone.
I have to reiterate that.
Mr. Chair, if I could just add to that where it is Telecommunicators Week. In the 8 years that I've been here as the town administrator, our dispatchers have been second to none. The position has evolved over my time, even with the EMD requirements and all of the other requirements. I appreciate the support of the dispatchers. The board will recall through Chief Murray's leadership and with the dispatchers, we upgraded the dispatch center to be state-of-the-art using all grant funding in excess of $1 million. The dispatchers have always been a pleasure to negotiate with and to work with. We have a great group, and I think we have a new, exciting generation coming on. And I also want to thank both chiefs and Ms. Cabri and Lieutenant Gill on the regionalization effort, because I think, and the dispatchers through the impact bargaining process, we were able to get more dispatchers, and I think it's important, and it's a true testament to the whole department and the town. And just to reiterate that, the majority of the funding for all of these new dispatchers is coming from a combination of the state 911 grant and an assessment from Shirley, and the infrastructure improvements that were required are also coming from the state. So again, I know that some people see us appointing all these folks. It's because we're moving towards regionalization rapidly, and the cost impact to the taxpayer in the town is minimum. So,
Correct.
Congratulations to all the dispatchers, and Chief, thank you.
Yeah, you guys do a great job, and it's very, very much appreciated by everyone. Probably underappreciated to some, but it's a hard job. And I know you've actually had dispatchers who have ended up being on your force as police officers, all right? Is it Casey?
Not in the too recent past, but there has been.
Yeah. So, I mean, it can be a stepping stone for other things as well.
It could be, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
So-
good work.
Just again, I'm going to just repeat. So April 8th through the 14th, 2018 is the National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week. And without them, we'd be lost. So thank you for everything you guys do.
Yeah. Absolutely. And
And the last item,
Yep. So, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, the chief is in front of you because in your packet there was a purchase order for the police department for totaling $113,256.31 for various equipment and infrastructure for the regionalization of dispatch. And so in order to commence with State 911 to get the grant and all of that moving, it was sent to the state. But as the board is aware, under the purchasing threshold at $113,256.31, it requires a vote by the Board of Selectmen and signature by the chair.
And this is not money that's coming out of any. This is getting forwarded to the state, correct?
It's all grant money.
It's all
so
grant.
It's just. I'm just saying that for public
Yeah.
consumption. It's not another.
No, that's a
Oh,
good
there you
point,
go.
Mr. Chair. It's all grant funded. It's just the
Okay.
procurement requires the board approval because of the dollar threshold.
Well, I'd like to make a motion that the board approve the purchase order number 2506 in the amount of $113,256.31 with signature by the chair.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. A couple of these chairs are ready for the scrap heap. Chief, if you don't mind a couple of questions, I know it's been a
Absolutely.
busy day for you. Any injuries downtown this morning?
Nothing major, no.
Thank God. I mean,
Yeah, there
I
was
know
a
it's
A very strange accident, and like you said, thank God nobody was.
yeah, and it was about 7 a.m. or so?
About 7:15, 7:20.
Right around the time it's bustling down there with people getting on the
Absolutely,
trains.
very busy, right.
Any major structural, I saw the post gone, but everything going to be okay with the buildings? You know, I mean, obviously shoring back up and stuff.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, again, as always, public safety, police, fire responded immediately.
Absolutely.
And also the building commissioner, Mr. Schultz, I think did an excellent job in not only assessing the structural, but he had a crew in there that came in right after the chief's, the investigation was completed, and stabilized the building and cleaned it all up. And I understand that the Heart of Air is going to be open tomorrow, so.
Oh, that's
Great.
wonderful.
Yeah.
And they
That's wonderful.
got a light post, Mark, because those things are like a pinball. You know?
I had to laugh at the light bulbs.
Yeah. Robert sent me a picture, and I said, my response was, and of course they took out a light post.
I did have to chuckle about the light posts. I'm like, yeah, all right,
Yeah.
whatever.
But
We just keep them in the back, you know?
thankfully, no one was hurt
Yeah.
with that. So good work, and I'm assuming it caused some traffic issues coming through.
Yeah.
Just a few.
Yeah. Well, could have been worse, I guess. So good work.
What's that?
And the driver is okay? I don't know if there was.
No, yep, she's fine. Everybody was taken to the hospital just as a precaution. Everybody got released.
Okay.
Oh, good.
We're all well.
All right, good.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
absolutely.
Great, thank you very much.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Congratulations.
Oh, good, we can do the
Oh,
public hearing.
I forgot to add, Selectman Luca sends his regrets. He had to attend a memorial service or funeral out of town and, unexpectedly, so he notified us, I think, on Easter,
Yeah.
and said he'd be up out of town, so I just want to pass that on. Go ahead. Open the hearing?
Yep.
Read the hearing.
Okay, so I'm going to read the public hearing notice. Town of Ayer, Board of Selectmen, FY 2019 Water and Sewer Rate Public Hearing Notice. Public hearing on April 3rd, 2018 at 7:15 p.m. The Ayer Board of Selectmen will be conducting a public hearing on Tuesday, April 3rd, 2018 at 7:15 p.m. in the first floor meeting room at the Ayer Town Hall, 1 Main Street, Ayer, Mass. 01432. The Board of Selectmen, in their legal capacity as the town's Water and Sewer Commissioners, will hear the report and recommendations of the town's Water and Sewer Rate Review Committee, take public comments, and consider approval and adoption of the FY 2019 water and sewer rates. Christopher R. Hillman, Chairman; Janice L. Livingston, Vice Chairman; Gary J. Luca, Clerk. The Ayer Board of Selectmen.
The public meeting is now open.
So, Mr. Chairman, through you, I'll turn the presentation over to Ms. Gabri and Superintendent Wetzel that has a brief presentation. The board has hard copies of the material that was in the packet. There's also copies here for members of the public. And
Reading.
before I turn it over to the town finance manager, the DPW superintendent, just for the public's benefit, the water and sewer rates of the town of Ayer are legally set by the Board of Selectmen, which are the water and sewer commissioners. However, for several years, which is a best practice, the town of Ayer has a water and sewer rate review committee that meets on a quarterly basis. And I really, again, want to thank the committee members, which are up here. Selectman Janice Livingston, that chairs the committee, Miss Mary Spinner, Mr. Rick Scotchless, Mr. Neil Middleton, who's our business representative from Nasoya, Mr. Mark Wetzel, the DPW superintendent, Miss Pam Martin, DPW business manager, Miss Lisa Gabri, finance manager, and I'm also on the committee. So I want to thank everybody for their continued efforts on that. So with that, I will, through you, Mr. Chair, turn it over to Mark and Lisa.
Good evening, everybody. So as usual, these are always our criteria for rates. Our overall goal is to set the rates to recover the cost and avoid significant fluctuations. And the criteria we use is to protect expenses, including future capital needs, in order to avoid spikes in rates, which we had a challenge again this year, like we did last year, and we will get into that. Continue to build a stabilization reserve balance, thank God, for future capital needs. Discussion points, so these two are repeated from last year. To continue to monitor wastewater treatment evaluation as a phased capital improvement plan. As you remember, there was significant borrow article at last year's town meeting, over $5 million to provide funds at least for the next 3 years. Hopefully, maybe that will do it, maybe that won't, but we will continue to monitor that process. In addition, we have been working on developing a special rate to encourage water conservation, and we continue to work on that. That's from left over from last year. My new challenge for this year was to determine how to fund $4.1 million unforeseen capital improvements to Grove Pond Water Treatment Plant to treat PFAS, which you've heard.
That's just courtesy of the U.S. Army, in case you want to know where it came from.
In the meantime, we need to try. It is our challenge this year. So, just a glimpse. These are the sewer expenses that were projected for fiscal 2018. And just a note on them: the overall expenses, have increased $131,000, or 4.5% over last year, and the bulk of which is due to, not surprise, the debt impact for the wastewater treatment improvements. About $147,000 is the impact on that. And just to move forward. Well, that's just based on $2 million, because we had to spread it over the next few years just to make it affordable and not spike the rates, and not to use too much of the surplus, actually. And there will hopefully be future cost reductions due to the renegotiation of contract with Mass Development, which expires in 2021.
Oh, it's close.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, the finance manager has a clock that has it down to the minute.
I hear you.
And I think that same clock is in the DPW superintendent's office.
Yes.
As well.
At Five Wagon Road as well.
So these are miscellaneous projected revenues that are non-rate related. For instance, interest on bills that aren't paid on time, permits and fees, miscellaneous revenues that come in. And you may look at 2017 actual and say, why are you projecting interest at $20,000? But what we always do is look at past averages, because that makes more sense. You can have spikes one year, and like for instance, the permits and fees was an unusually high year. I'm not sure why, but it was an unusually high year.
Going up a lot this year.
Isn't typically that way.
The revenue, that's the revenue, like from
It's connection fees.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
connection.
I think you're going to probably see
and
a lot of that.
we're putting out a lot of connection fees this year so far.
I think with the development of the town and
Yeah.
the raising the fees, I think you're probably going to see that for the foreseeable future.
So you see the total expenses projected for FY19 is just over $3 million, less the miscellaneous revenues that were projected of about $112,000. Leaves an amount that is required to raise from rates of 2.915. So we are actually, I'll just tell you, as a result of that, we will be asking you further along in these slides to continue a 3.5% rate increase. That was projected from last year, and it's up from previous years basically because of the wastewater treatment improvements. And then we get to water expenses. And you will see that water expenses decreased $513,000 over last year, but don't be fooled, because if you look at the capital purchases line, the $958,000, we recommended, the rate committee recommended, and the Water and Sewer Commissioners approved this, because our surplus was building, our retained earnings in water. At the time, remember, we didn't know about the PFAS problem, so we decided to have no rate increase for that year, give the people a little bit of break, and to buy the various capital requests that were requested for FY18. There were equipment requests, and, interconnections, and so forth. So instead of borrowing for them, we actually purchased them, because we don't like to get the retained earnings building so high, and people like, why are you raising the rates if you're building a retained earnings? And the whole purpose is to provide for capital
To
needs.
speak for capital, it is one of the major discussions we have every year, is what we have in water and sewer, and we try to keep things, in line with what we have. And
Right.
so it's always a good discussion we have about what we can do with what we have, and try not to raise the rates.
The other line I'd like to bring to you notice is the regular debt line. The debt line, I should just say debt. So for FY18, it was projected at $556,000, and for 19, due to the water treatment needs at Grow Pond, it's increased to $838,000. So it was quite a challenge to do that, and in order to afford this, this is what we looked at. In FY18, these are the $778,000 of capital requests that were purchased with retained earnings. And then out of the blue, once again, the down the bottom, PFAS Grow Pond treatment plant improvements, $4.2 million. We didn't see that coming, but that's one of the reasons why we build retained earnings, so that we can try to control the rate increases. Just wanted to show people that one slide on capital. So these are the miscellaneous revenues that offset rate increases. And once again, we looked at past averages and not just FY17 actuals, which look lower in some cases. And this is a summary. So the total expenses of $1.2 million, less the miscellaneous revenues of $129,000. And we're, I missed checking that one, and we're using water retained earnings of $500,000 for that year in order to keep the rate increase just to 2%. And it was quite a challenge, but luckily we have the water retained earnings to help offset this cost. So these are what we're looking for proposed water rate increases. 2% across the board. And for sewer rate increases, 3.5%. And I think it's needed still. And this is the impact on the average family residential quarterly bill. So total for the year is $13 more. And that's based on the water and sewer, PM Martin actually, estimates that the average usage for a quarterly bill is 1,000 cubic feet for a family.
So the quarterly increase was only
70 cents for water and $2.60 for sewer.
okay. It always looks more reasonable when it's put that way. As
I mean,
opposed
it
to-
all depends on how big your family size
Of course,
is.
of course. And also, I don't know if you're going to go into that, but there's also ways for the public to lower their bill too, with
Yeah.
energy conservation and stuff like that.
That's right. So, the rate
Quarterly
committee-
billing helps too.
Yeah, I know that was a
Makes
big,
it easier.
big thing to get.
Makes
I
it easier, a
agree.
little bit easier for people.
Absolutely.
I don't scream as much as
I
I
think
do.
Have you
it
found
must.
that easier? That what you guys
It
implemented the
must.
quarterly?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, that was a good thing.
So we're here asking the Water and Sewer Commissioners to vote the water and sewer rate increases that are proposed by the rate committee.
And I'd just like to add a couple things on the big ticket, the treatment at Grove Pond, we're still really in the early stages of, so that's a conservative cost, number one. Number two is we're looking at some different financing options, including getting the Army to pay for it.
I was gonna say, have we looked at suing the Army yet?
And that's
my first.
Well, I don't know if it's necessarily, so we are going down that path with putting them on notice, but there's also a meeting next week with the Army and the EPA and the DEP right here. I think it's next Thursday at 7 o'clock. To
So
talk about.
they're not blowing us
No,
off
no,
on
no.
this.
And the Army is, well, at their usual pace. They're doing their investigation and they haven't committed anything, but I think they realize that they are the responsible party. I also met today with the DEP for their revolving loan fund. And we're out of sequence in that, but since it's an emergency treatment, that they said they would take care of us whatever our time frame is, and so that's another option. And what's really attractive about that is they'll do the short-term borrowing at no cost, and they'll extend that as long as we need to. So if we look like we're getting some money from the Army, then we can wait until that happens. So we're still exploring that too, but there's a lot of things up in the air, but that's a pretty conservative number.
It is.
Okay.
And Mr. Chairman, as this board is aware, per this board's authorization, we have engaged our town council as well.
Good. Aggressively, I hope. Okay.
I just handed you a sheet of a history of water and sewer retained earnings, and you can see until 2015, the sewer fund really did not have a lot of retained earnings. In the beginning years, it actually had losses. So, and then in 2015, it had $882,000 of retained earnings. And so it's just in the past few years that they've actually had enough fund balance, luckily, that we would be comfortable using any of it.
Does that correlate with tie-in fees and bringing those up?
It's a lot of things. You know, we've done a lot of energy improvements, so our energy costs have gone down.
Yep.
And we've increased the connection fees, and we've had a certain amount of those. And we also did a lot of treatment optimization, which reduced some of our chemical feed costs. So anytime we can save money, it goes into this.
That's great, because I know, Lisa, when I first got on the board, this was always an issue, because there was not anything on the sewer side. It was
very
always
tight.
bare bones, yeah.
Right, and whereas the water, it started out with $300,000 back in 2000, the fiscal year 2000 when it was first established. And it had a little ups and downs, but by 2009, it grew to $1.3 million, at which point we were building Grove Pond Treatment Plant, and we used $800,000 of that. So I
The
just...
new well we have to fix because of the running.
Right, the well, but, and I'm just giving you this because, and explaining, because I want people to understand that we don't just build it for no reason. We build it so that it's there, so you don't have,
Absolutely.
without this surplus that we're using for the water department this year, your rates would have had to go up 12.5%.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous.
And I'm glad you pointed that out, because I think that's lost on some, that we're just collecting more money than we should, and then we just stash it away somewhere.
Right.
It's a lot easier to have and utilize, as opposed to going back and saying, we need to do this, we need funds. And so
Exactly.
I think that has been a great way to do this, and I know you've been doing it for a while, but I think it makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
it's an emergency fund. I mean, it's there, and people could see that, we do use it.
Correct.
But we use it wisely, and we use it for, the big ticket items to keep the rates low. But I'm very happy to be on this committee. I got to tell you, there's a lot of work being done by these committee members and everything. And Lisa does a great job with all the numbers and everything. So, I'm very proud to be a part of this committee because it's a good group. They do a lot of work.
It is a
Is
good
this your
group.
spreadsheet, Lisa? Because this is good. Sometimes your spreadsheets are not long.
She's actually gotten better with her spreadsheets, and she actually numbers them for us so we can follow along.
They're dumbed down for the selectmen, but
her model was
You
as
just
long.
see the model.
Her model was as
Oh,
long
yeah.
as this table.
Yeah, you don't want that.
And, you know, one thing I would say, you know, I've worked with a lot of different communities on water system things, and when I came to Ayer and saw the process of setting the water and sewer rates, it's really the way it should be done, and not many towns do it this way.
I agree.
A lot of them just kind of go, oh, everybody's rates a couple of years, let's go
Yeah.
10%. 10% might be too much. Let's go 9%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's basically how it gets done in a lot of communities. And I think Ayer's pretty unique, and having Lisa being able to do a lot of this stuff is really credit to the community.
No, absolutely. Not to mention all the significant upgrades that have been made through the system, in the system that you've made and that we've proposed for the future, and it's been a credit to everyone.
And just to kind of repeat what's already been said is that, you know, we didn't raise water rates last year. So, you know, again, we're trying to let the town know that we don't want to raise rates. And if we don't have to raise rates, we don't raise rates, but when we have to, this is what it is.
Sometimes I think it's lost that everybody that's involved, I mean, for the most part, is a ratepayer as well, at least.
Exactly.
On the board, so.
And the committee will tell you how the first couple of years I was like ranting, you know, my bill, I got my bill, you know, and then we went to quarterly, so I've calmed way down, they'll tell you.
Do you have is there any programs I know it's harder for smaller towns, but water saving, I know, you know, shower heads, I know mass saving.
Well, I've been keeping my eyes open for that. The state does have a grant program that comes out, and what I'm looking at doing is doing some kind of a rebate on low flow plumbing, whether it's washing machines or showers or dishwashers.
There's a lot of great products out there
And,
that can really save people a lot of money.
But we have to be careful too, because you know, we're selling the only product we make.
Yeah.
We don't want people not to buy it.
Good point. Good point.
But no, but we do have to have times when we really need to conserve our water.
2 summers ago,
Two summers
it
ago,
was getting a little dicey.
it was pretty scary. And,
Yeah.
and also right now with that one well out of service, actually we have 2 wells out of service because before summer started, we want to get one of our other wells cleaned and rehabbed. So I think we put the pump in tomorrow or Thursday. So we'll be all ready to go for the summer, but it is a lot of juggling act. And I don't know if anyone from the audience has complained about that. We've been getting a lot of complaints about water quality, and it's primarily because of that.
Oh, you
And
mean
that's a
like
new
the
well.
coloring and everything?
Coloring and
Yeah, that's actually happened
and-
on my street for the first time.
Yeah, so what we've been doing, and I posted something on the town web page today, and I think they were going to put it on I didn't even know there was this community Facebook page where there's a lot of ranting about.
Yeah, you probably don't want to read it.
I
don't.
generally don't, but I asked someone to post it on there. But as we were taking this well out of service and cleaning another well and replacing another well, it upsets our treatment process. And once you change something in your water quality, even if we're getting the iron and manganese out, if you change the chlorine level a little and change the pH level a little, then all the stuff that's inside the pipes starts dissolving off. And so that's what's been going on. And I would guess it's probably going to be another couple weeks before everything settles down. We had a filtration expert come in last week, and he spent the whole week going through the plant with our guys. They opened up every filter. They went in, they climbed around, they fixed a lot of problems, came up with new, changed some dosages and some chemical feed stuff. So we're right back where we should be, and but it'll take a little while to settle down.
Okay. I mean, it's understandable. And
Yeah.
I think it's seasonal based too, right? I know my.
Yeah, it's the end of the. So we'll start our spring flushing pretty soon. So it's it's the end of the winter. Water's being stagnant. In the summer it doesn't stagnate that much because everybody's watering lawns and it's easier for us to go out and open a hydrant here and there. In the winter it's tough to do that. So the water does tend to be getting a little skunky by now anyways. And there's no health problems with it. We go out and we test in 20 locations throughout the system once a month. We test every day the water at each treatment plant. and then we have other samples that we take on a regular basis. So there's nothing in the water that's going to hurt you. It just may not.
And this is every
necessarily
town.
be
This
the-
is not
yeah.
just, this
Right.
isn't an air thing. I know every town struggles with this at certain
Yeah.
times of the year. And then, people complain about the water smelling like bleach, if they put too much chlorine
Yeah.
in to mitigate, so it's everywhere. It's annoying, but it's still everywhere, Looks good to me. I mean, you're on the committee. I think you feel confident in these.
Well, I would like to make a motion.
Can I just ask, is
wait,
there anybody,
wait.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
is there anybody in the,
I was gonna say.
it is a public hearing, anybody in the audience here for this purpose, or have any questions?
I just have a question.
Oh, yeah, please, just state your name if you don't.
Mark Phillips,
Mark?
Mark Laurel. Just questions in general. Maybe I missed and caught the very tail end of Mark discussing the issue with the PFAS.
Yep.
Again, just a couple questions. I think you just stated you test the water daily at the
We
well?
test for certain, so we have a little lab, and so we test for pH, chlorine residual, iron, manganese, just to see how our plant's working on a daily basis. And then we take samples, so then we have a sampling schedule that the state sets up for us. So depending on the size of your system and how many water supplies you have and things, they set up a schedule. So we sample, for instance, we do lead and copper sampling, 40 samples twice a year. We do 20 bacteria samples once a month. And then we have other things that we do every year or maybe twice a year. The PFAS was something that is not a regulated contaminant. So the only reason we discovered it in our water was because Devon's discovered it in their water because they were located next to a known source. So when they discovered it, they said, well, Ayer, you guys ought to test your water, and we did, and we were positive. So what we started doing was blending the well with our other wells. So we'd only run it when all the other wells were on, so we'd drop it below. And it's not since it's not regulated, the contaminant level is an advisory. So we were dropping it well below the advisory level. But the state is going to be coming out with a new limit, and based on that limit, we took the well off service. But we do test for that chemical quarterly in the system. And they cost about $2,500 a sample, so it's something that wasn't in the budget, and it's fairly expensive.
Right.
But it's- And there's, I've had a number of calls, primarily from pregnant women or people with new babies, and and I'm not a doctor and don't know all the science and medical issues, but there have been some studies, and they're, I would say, not conclusive as to what the health impacts are. I would say, based on what I've read, if they took a blood sample of everybody in this room, we would have it in our system. It's very prevalent in the environment. So the water is a way that you can reduce that exposure, and that's why it's set at that level.
Okay. But in the letter, didn't we say that you guys determined that it was over, was it, 98 or something?
So the way, what the state, the EPA advisory was for two of the compounds, PFOA and PFOS. And the state is going to be for 5 compounds. So when you add up those 5 compounds, that's the limit that's in the letter.
Right, the combination of it, right? And, but wasn't it just in, was it like 2010, 2008 or something like that, when they dropped it from 400 down to 75? Something.
I don't think at that point it was a monitored contaminant. Something fairly new. I think they started doing unregulated contaminant monitoring. And Ayer doesn't fall in the category where we were required to test for that.
All right. I guess I'm just curious as to,
Is that anything
we kind of waited
Mass
a long time to
DEP
take it off,
Army?
offline, and I'm just.
Yeah,
We
meeting
didn't
next week
discover
at
it
7
until
in the
2016.
Army.
Okay.
I'm talking months, I'm not talking years.
So what we were doing was we were only blending it when our other wells were running.
Mary
So
Jude? Okay.
so it was pollution, basically.
So the concentrations were linked in. But now that they've changed it from 2 contaminants to 5 contaminants, now we aren't under zero. So that's why we took it off. And actually, that hasn't been approved yet. That was, it's expected, the state's expected to pass that, but it hasn't been passed yet, but we, as a precaution, took it out of service.
Okay. Is it, so you're planning to fix it, do we actually technically need it?
Yes.
Are we doing it from capacity?
For 2 reasons. One is we need it for capacity, and 2 is
It's new.
well, but it's also
Well, I
it's
guess
acting
that was
right
kind of the
now.
question
It's
also.
acting right now as an interceptor well too. So we still run it. We just don't pump it into the water system. We pump it back up into the ground upstream, so that it doesn't get into any of our other wells.
Okay.
So really the solution is to put in a treatment process.
And what is the treatment going to be? Do we know what it is yet? Or?
No, it's basically filtration, and it's either carbon or ion exchange resin. So the next step is to examine our specific water quality with respect to those 2 media.
Okay.
So there's pros and cons to both, and
I thought it was going to be reverse osmosis to eliminate
that is one of the processes. But carbon is very, very effective, but just carbon is very expensive. So these
That's
ion
why the Army
exchange
paid
medias
for it.
will absorb it also.
Okay.
If you want to, you can call me. I can give you more information.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just interested in making sure we have clean water for the town.
No, absolutely. They're all good questions. And hats off to the superintendent. He's been proactive on this for quite some time with the capital planning.
And what's interesting, I probably shouldn't say this, but one of the options we looked at as a
Look when he
short
says
term.
that, and then he says it.
Well, it doesn't bother us. It doesn't affect us. It affects our neighbors. One of the short-term solutions that we looked at was interconnecting with Littleton, and the DEP didn't like that because they haven't tested Littleton's water. So they don't know whether Littleton's water is polluted or not.
Oh, yeah.
So,
We don't want them suing us.
and then the same thing with one of the other solutions would be to hand out bottled water to the sensitive population, pregnant women and nursing women and infants. And one of the problems with that is no one's testing bottled water. So.
Oh, that's a good point.
So I might have drank it right now.
I did hear Poland Spring was okay, but
This is
Blizzard water.
WB Mason, so it probably came from Ayer's tap for all we know. Yeah, this is more to come on this, on what we do. And you said there's a meeting next week with us on the Army?
There's the meeting with the DEP and Army representatives here.
Okay.
And we will also be talking about, the superintendent will, at the town meeting on May 14th, as the board's aware, there'll be an article on the town meeting warrant for the borrow authorization for the treatment. And with that, there'll be a presentation.
Okay. And we'll probably discuss this more with Representative Benson too, as it involves state and all sorts of good stuff.
She's excited.
I know she's excited to hear about that. All right, great. So we're going to make a motion. And
Yes.
any other questions regarding this? Anybody? Great.
So I make a motion that the Board of Selectmen make the new rates for the water at the increase of the 2% with the sewer of the increase of the 3.5% as presented here tonight.
And effective immediately? Or how is
Or
it?
effective July 1st.
July
1st.
fiscal year, I'm sorry, yeah.
Effective July 1st,
First.
2018.
Sure. Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Good work on this, everybody.
Good job, Lisa. Good job,
I
Mike.
think there's a lot more work that goes into it than people understand. So, nice job. Mark, I don't know if you're leaving, but thank you to you, and I know you're away, but your guys did a real helping hand down, helping out the railroad last week with the block culvert and me looking at buying canoes in my neighborhood. So they were.
There's a sinkhole down there too.
Yes, I saw Doug and Wally down there at 6:15 or 6:30 this morning. I ran into them. So, but they've been good. Bruce was down there yesterday and dug out a little bit, so I appreciate it.
How's everyone like the new streetlights?
Can I ask a question? How come they go like 4 and then they have an old one?
Mr. Chairman, he asked if you liked them.
They're great.
Yeah.
Well,
Do you understand? My mind's
I
going
know,
before
but
my
we
yeah.
got.
I'm teasing you.
we've had some
I'm
issues.
teasing you, Mr.
We've had some
Chair.
issues with obviously with the weather.
It's his fault.
So that we because on certain streets we need a police detail,
Oh, okay.
and so
That would
we
explain
cancel,
corners.
and then they show up and they don't have a detail, so they can't do Central Ave.
No, they're great. I know. The only reason I
And
noticed
then there's
them.
a couple others where we need to do some
Yeah.
tree removal.
There's like random ones, like you see the bright light, and then
yeah.
also you see this yellow, like
Yeah.
in the
And
corner.
then there's somewhere they need to bring a different type of truck in because it's too close with some power lines.
Are they all done? I know they're down in my mind right
I
now.
think we were about, as of yesterday, we were about 85% done.
Are they cranked all the way up yet, or are you still?
No, they're at 100% now.
Okay.
Don't make him upset. He can turn up.
No, I was asking. I know
I
you
can
can.
turn yours off if you want while I'm sitting up my.
We don't have it. They don't allow us ones down on that side of town. We don't have any.
If all of a sudden the town lights go off,
Yeah.
No, I think they're great. They look cool too.
Once we get everything, all the kinks ironed out, I'll do a little demonstration and show
You'll be
you.
like,
No, that's cool.
Setting up dimming schedules and turning lights on and off.
we
and
should
stuff.
do it outside, and then we could
It's,
do it like Dumbledore did.
It's
have
nice
the
if you
wand
get
and
someone that
everything. Do a whole
complains or-
presentation.
And a couple more car accidents downtown where we're getting all these poles replaced by insurance. So we can get those yellow ones taken care of.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. No, they are
Leave
great
the good
though.
ones alone.
All right, Lisa.
Okay, so I'm here before you tonight to request a reserve fund transfer in the amount of $21,320, which I believe is the most I've ever asked for, ever, for my account. But the reason, it's to pay for the remaining wages of FY18, the additional cost of the FY17 financial statement audit, which happens in FY18, and the cash audit due to the turnover in the treasurer and the balance of the 18 expenses. And the reason for it, the reason why it's extraordinary, what I've already, spent, was basically due to the unforeseen retirement of my assistant accountant, Martha Riley, who had been with us for over 30 years. We appreciate her service to the town, but, there was a payout involved in that of unused vacation and sick time buyout, and the unforeseen costs of the audits. And, basically, between the replacement cost, which is the buyout for the past assistant account, as well as legal ads and on-the-job training, the total was almost $14,000. And the auditor has asked me to request additional funds if I can, because the FY17 financial statements involved many unforeseen things to him, such as the refunding bond issue, which saved the town over $400,000. Over $200,000 was directly impacted the debt exclusion, so it directly impacted reduced taxpayers' taxes. So it was well worth doing it. It's like refinancing your house at a much less interest rate, because those were 2002 and 2004 bond issues. So there was additional work required in that, and we had a significant CDBG project going on, which required significant additional audit work because of the Single Audit Act, because it's federal money and certain additional steps, many additional steps that they have to take in their audit because it's federal money. So he was asking, cost him, he's projecting $18,000 to $20,000 he ran over, but he's asking for, I think it was 5 to 6. I'm asking for 5, because after all, he did commit to a contract.
This is Mr. Gisty?
Yes, he did commit to a contract, and that's why we have a contract.
They do come in handy sometimes.
Right, but in this case, I kind of agree with him that I would just at least ask for it. On the other hand, the other $3,000 is a cash audit due to the turnover in the treasurer, which is definitely unforeseen. It is a good practice to do that, and it's a result of our government reorganization that was voted in October. So we didn't know it when we developed the budget for the May town meeting. We didn't know that was going to pass. We didn't know I would need the money to do a cash audit.
Sure.
And basically, that just is a best practice, so that it's basically best for everybody. The treasurer who's in place now and won't be the treasurer anymore, and the one who's coming into office. And it's I do recommend at least the $3,000. But if you're feeling generous to Jim, who they have been our auditors for a very long time, then you would approve the total amount of $21,320.
And again, back to your point of why we have reserve funds and stuff like that.
For unforeseen costs?
Yeah, this is why we do,
Right.
for unforeseen stuff.
Okay. Well, I'd like to make a motion that the reserve fund transfer in the amount of $21,320 to the town accountant, account number 01135, be approved by the Board of Selectmen as presented tonight.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Do you need everybody's signature on that one?
No, it'd be signature by the chair.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you want this one?
Yeah.
Can't wait, I don't have to sign anything. You got it right now?
Yeah, just right.
Right there.
Good thing we approved the 21, where am I signing?
Where's this, Chairman?
Oh, chairman, yeah, that's it. That's why we keep you around, Janice.
Yeah, on purpose.
Thank you. Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you want me to-
It's true. She never asked for this amount, and I think this is why it took her a couple weeks to finally come and ask to us. She's just been beside herself that she had to ask for this money.
Listen, my compliment to Lisa has always been she treats it like it's her own money, which I appreciate more than anything. So,
Thank you. Have a good
Thank
night.
you, Lisa.
Good night.
good night, Lisa. Thank you.
She does. Sometimes you have to
Yeah, which is reassuring.
which is good, actually.
Up next, we have a request for a home rule petition, additional liquor license.
Hi.
My wife Beth.
Hi.
We know the story, so I just don't know if you have anything else to
And I
add.
remember you from last year.
Yeah, the year before.
Yeah. Basically, that we just keep on getting the customers called that they keep on wanting liquor at that end of town. And we're already there, and we have the space to do it. And we're really close to the Groton and Shirley line for the 2A and the 111, and there's nothing down there. And basically what I'm asking to do is let the town decide.
We've done that once.
Well, that was because we had two people at one time going in. I'm asking to go in by myself, which I think was totally.
Yeah, and I don't. That was not. I didn't think that was fair to you, and I think that was someone on the floor that raised an additional license. I was not present last year at the meeting you came. I believe it was obviously
Right.
it wasn't on the warrant. I'm not one to tend to bring things back. When you purchased the store, did you relocate the store? Just if a brief history.
I started the store from scratch.
You started it at that location,
from
correct?
scratch, and then in 2010, 5 years ago, I doubled the size of the store. So when I
Yeah,
first
I
got
recall
there,
that.
it was
Yeah.
probably about 1,100 square feet. Now I'm 2,600 square feet. There's also more square footage in case we do grow that's available that we can. It's not like you're in the middle of an intersection and you're going to be causing, traffic problems and things like that. It's easy.
Yeah, I honestly believe if people, at that, I'm not concerned with that
Yeah.
part of it. I am concerned that Ayer has more liquor license per capita than any other town in the state or the country, along with barbershops.
No, Vegas has to be higher.
So, we are well covered in our,
Yeah. Well, like I said, at that end of town, we don't have an abundance of them. And I keep on getting people coming in and say, when are you going to get liquor, when are you going to liquor? Obviously, the people that are asking this don't know the laws, don't know what you have to go through, don't know about the per capita, and so on and so forth.
What, we've had no, and I'm pretty sure of this, but there's been no issues with anything at this store. I've heard nothing but positive.
Nothing but positive.
What do we have now for liquor license? Way too many, but can we take some away?
The all alcohol,
Three.
we have three.
We have three?
On
Yeah, three.
the all alcohol.
Okay.
Yeah, so one downtown, two at the Rotary.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, and then the other ones are beer and wine.
Where's the other one at the Rotary? I'm trying to.
The one on Barnum Road, he's kind of obscure there on the corner.
Hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Lost it for a second.
Like I said, I'm,
And I don't know if Robert ever mentioned this to you, that there is an ABC, what do they call it, Robert, that they're trying to revive the laws, change the laws of the ABC, and right now it's in with the state to see if they're going to approve it of unlimited liquor licenses, and then also the excise tax on booze and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, there's various things that always
Yeah,
on the
well,
state
they,
level
well,
on
they,
table.
they had, I'm trying to think of the right word. The laws go back to 1933 or something like that. So
Right.
what they did is they revisited the laws to make the laws up to date with today's time and everything. And so one of the things is to be unlimited liquor licenses up to the town
Yeah.
in the city, and so on and so forth. And then they're going to be changing the practices of the way that alcohol is bought and the way the pricing. And they're all concerned with the pricing with the wholesalers and excise taxes on booze, liquor, and wine. So
that seems,
are the numbers.
I mean, just from dealing with this and being selectman for a while, that seems like something that might happen when my children are my age. I mean, in terms of how stuff
Yeah, well,
works
they
with the state.
recommended this to the state.
No, I mean, there's a lot of things that are recommended
Yeah,
to the state
right,
that,
yeah.
some good,
But
some
I'm
bad.
just, updating you.
Do you own the building, sir?
No, I don't.
So if you move, I mean, how does that, the license goes with so he could move to?
Providing you say so.
Yeah, in other words.
So we would have say in terms of the license moving to another location in town? Would that come back to us?
Mr. Chair,
Mhm.
The license, if Mr. Gendron moved the business, let's say, somewhere within Ayer, that license can move with that location, but through the ABCC and this board, it has to be approved with, a change of venue within the jurisdiction.
And to be clear, if this goes to town meeting, this is not, even if it is approved, goes just to the state and has
Right.
to be approved by everybody there, if it was allowed, so it may die there, it could.
First, the town would have to vote on it, then
Mhm.
second of all, then it would go to the state, and then the state would have
Yeah.
to approve it, then it
Right.
would come back.
Right.
So
So,
just,
but, I mean, it could get approved at town meeting, and then it could get to state, and the state could say,
Exactly,
Right.
yeah.
okay.
You bought the business, assuming, you bought it with a beer and wine license, knowing, when you established the business, you knew,
Yeah.
obviously, what was did you just think you were gonna stay beer and wine, or was it,
I did, but as time went on, it became tougher just beer and wine because we don't carry other things. We're basically just into the liquor end of it. We don't carry groceries, we don't carry, firewood, propane, and anything like that. So that's our meat and potatoes. And also, like I said to people, how come you don't have it? How come you don't have it? So they come into our store, more so than other stores. If they go into a convenience store and they see beer and wine, they're not really looking for liquor. But if they come into my store and they see that the way that we're price competitive and whatnot in beer and wine, and then we're also a very big microbrew store, probably one of the best microbrews from all over the country, and that seems to be one of the largest growing it. But we do need the spirits in order to, with the increases of expenses of businesses, everything goes up.
Yeah.
I wasn't in favor of this the first time, but I want to ask you something. I'm not one to put things to town meeting twice because town meeting usually speaks and they don't like us speaking twice on something. I feel like we're forcing it through. If we put this to town meeting and it fails,
Yep.
can you assure me you won't be back here again next year asking this board or whatever board's here that for the same thing?
Well, no, once if
No,
I-
I'm saying
If town meeting said no.
because
Would you come back again?
If the town meeting said no, I can't come back for so many years. It's 3 years, I think.
no, you've been back every year since.
As far as if I get to, I was under the assumption that once the town said no.
Well, we did.
Huh?
We did.
We did, and we came back. We're
You
here
came back
back.
last year.
They didn't say no to me. I'm
Well-
going for myself.
Well, I think you went for the license for yourself 2 years ago, if I recall. And
I never been in front of the town
are you a resident?
for myself.
Are you a resident of town, sir?
No.
How does that work with a home rule petition? Do you have to
So
be
there,
a
Mr. Chair,
resident?
so on a home rule petition, both on the local and the state level, there's no restriction in
Okay.
the number of times that
Okay.
an individual could come before the board. And just real quick, for everybody's benefit, the public, the way it stands now, the all alcohol licenses are set at 3 for Ayer based on population through the ABCC, through the statute. What Mr. Gendron is asking is for a home rule petition, which would appear on the town meeting warrant, and which the Board of Selectmen have authorization over. That home rule petition would be before the voters at town meeting, and it has to pass by a simple majority. If it passed, what the petition's looking is to petition the state for the license.
Right.
Right.
So if it passes the town meeting, it then has to go to the state for approval. And then if approved by the state, the Board of Selectmen still issue that license, and of course, you'd have to comply with all of the ABCC,
Right.
just so everybody understands the
Yeah.
process.
Yeah.
I guess my question was, Mr. Gendron, if we do put this before, because I typically don't try to, I've always practiced that if it comes before us, it should be
Yeah.
put before the voters, whether I agree with it or not. I don't necessarily agree that we need another license. I do respect the fact that you're a business owner and you're trying to do everything you can for your business. So I guess my point is if the board does put this on the warrant
Yep.
and let town meeting speak on it,
Yep.
and they speak on it and vote yes or no, and in your case, hopefully you
Yeah.
obviously want yes,
Yeah.
but no, will you let it die next year? I mean,
Yeah.
because I will not support, and I guess I will be here next year. One more
I
year.
think so.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Like,
I
I
understand.
don't want to be
And
doing
I
this
agree with
same thing every
Look.
year because it doesn't look.
Well, what happened was that at the last one is that somebody else had went for it, and then I came in and.
I agree with that.
You know
I
what
remember.
mean?
Yeah, so
someone,
it was the
someone,
fall of
and
16,
And,
and that
and
was
then
nice.
then I came last time, and then there was only a 2-board member, so I was hoping for a 3-board member.
well, Selectman Luca had an unfortunate.
Yeah,
But I
family
don't hear
member.
both times.
So basically, that's why I came back.
All right.
So I agree with you on that. No, this will be the last we'll see.
And can we put it specific to? I don't know if we can.
The article.
The article
It
is
can be
specific to
specifically
Mr. Genron and
naming this
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
because
business.
it got muddied before because
It got
someone said,
muddied.
"Let me amend it and add 2
Right.
licenses." And,
Because
Right.
it was kind of
So
blank,
last
yeah.
time, right, as Selectman Livingston had mentioned, last time it was general, so it was open for amendments. And then
Yeah.
if the board could make the home rule petition specific, and that way also all of the voters coming know it's specific for this location.
Yeah.
And yes, so
Mhm.
the answer, yes.
But I do have a question, though. I mean, I'm willing to agree with this, but let's say that the town says no. Then all of a sudden somebody comes back and they go back in front of the town. Am I allowed to come back?
I can assure you, this
I think
board's
we're
going to
gonna
say
let
no.
this die
but,
for now.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You know,
no, I think
you know, like
if
all-
you, I think what he's saying.
Mr. General,
is
this,
that
this
if
wasn't.
the
This,
town
trust
says
me, this
no
was
to
this was a
home
gentleman's
rule,
agreement. You can do whatever
that
you want. I'm just.
Anybody else coming forward, we're just gonna say no. Because the
That's
town
fine,
obviously
that's fine,
doesn't
that's
want
fine.
it.
I-
think
I
that's
wanna-
what we
that's
would
what I
be
was
saying.
asking.
I want to say no now,
That's what I was
but
asking.
I
Mr.
feel
Chairman,
that.
just,
Yep.
just in, so we're clear in managing expectations, because boards do
Yep.
change and so forth. There is nothing that legally prevents anybody from coming before the Board of Selectmen to ask for a home rule petition. It's up to the board whether they'll support that on the warrant.
Correct.
So
And I
just in full
understand.
disclosure, just so you know that
Right.
there's nothing that
Right.
can stop, it's up to the board.
Right.
Okay.
And we
So-
have,
yeah.
and if you
Yeah.
look back, we have said no to alcohol at gas stations,
Yeah.
you know, at other stations when the license was available, and made some people mad. So I mean, it's not like we're in favor of adding more. But you already have an establishment. I don't particularly favor the idea, but you know what? I also believe that town meeting has the right to vote, and town meeting does some crazy things sometimes that I can't predict. So I guess my point was, if it does pass, good for you, and let the state decide. They may say no. If it doesn't pass, I don't want to be here again next year and doing the same thing.
That's
'Cause
fine, I understand.
not that I can hold you to that. I'm just throwing that out there.
No, it was only an afterthought of what I said after. I said, what happened
Yeah.
if someone came?
Yeah.
So,
No, I think we have plenty of
yeah.
liquor license, but I also don't think there's all that much difference between beer and wine and
It's crazy. I mean,
liquor.
wine
myself.
alcohol content can be higher than,
Correct.
you know, the other stuff.
So,
you know?
I would be okay to put this to town meeting and let us speak and can Mr. Genron speak at town meeting because he's a business owner? That's the
You would
question.
have to ask
The
you would have
moderator.
to ask the moderator.
Okay.
So,
All right. As much as I don't support this, I think you have the right to bring it to town meeting. I make the motion to accept the home rule petition for an additional all alcohol license to be presented to town meeting. What's the date of town meeting? When town meeting is? I can't remember the date. That's it, right?
do you want to say specific?
Specifically to the Vineyard, is it Vineyard
Yeah.
LLC or anything, but Mr.
Vineyard.
Genron in the Vineyard, and not open to debate for anybody else, because that's what happened last time.
Seconded. Long.
Yeah, sorry, I don't plan these things out, they just come out. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Great evening, thanks
Yep.
again.
And Mr. Genron, you have the ability to have someone from town speak on your behalf as well.
I'm sorry?
At town meeting, you do have the ability to have someone represent you from town to speak on behalf of
Okay.
the Vineyard.
Yep.
I don't think anybody's going to object to
Yeah.
a local business owner, but you never know.
Yeah.
Town meeting can do. I believe it's only one person can object, right? And it can be.
Right.
Right. So
Yeah.
you can
I
have
think
you can have
you
your
have to,
your
ask for
customer.
the floor up, right?
Yeah. So your customers can talk for you, but you can also ask the
Oh,
moderator.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but sometimes people get weird and say no, and then.
Well, the
Can't.
customers are living in town. If
Yeah,
they're
so that's all I'm
residents.
saying. You might
Yeah.
want to bring someone from town just in case to speak
Yeah.
on your behalf if
Yeah.
someone shoots you down.
Yeah, like, sometimes people, both sides will get up and speak.
No, I'm sure it was kind of a debate the last time,
Yeah.
and this will be the last time. So let's do
Okay.
it right.
I was a little hard of hearing, so I had to walk over.
That's
Okay.
all right.
Okay, thank you.
That's all right.
All right.
Have
Thank
a
you.
good night.
I completely changed my tone on that, but I'm allowed to flip flop every once in a while, right? Representative Benson, how are you? Please come up. Nice to see you. Sorry, we always run long here.
Hello. Representative, how are you?
Good.
Welcome.
How
Good to
are
see
you?
you.
Chatty cat.
45-minute meetings next year. I'm holding you to it.
Hello.
Hi.
So I could have been helpful. That was my old committee, actually.
Yeah, I saw you.
My
I
pre-
saw
like,
you kind of.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
Yeah. I have a little experience with that. Well, hello. How are you?
How are you?
Good. Good to see you.
So it's interesting. I'm here solo, but we could not coordinate our schedules, and I thought better to get in before the budget.
And honestly, I found it more informative when Jamie was here alone. Sometimes it's easier just to.
Well, sometimes
yeah.
Jimmy doesn't talk when you guys are there. He just kind of sits there, you know?
Yeah.
Or sometimes he does all the talking, and I sit here. You
Yeah.
never know. Yeah, it's hard
Regardless,
to
Sheila
coordinate
would have been
all
late.
of that. Pardon?
I said regardless, Sheila would have been late, so that's one that we could count on.
I'll piggyback on the previous speaker. So the quick update for me is I was Consumer Protection and Professional Licensure Chair, both last session and then appointed again this session until there was some shifting due to the Chair of Ways and Means resigning. I ended up getting moved up to State Administration and Regulatory Oversight. So I started that committee at the end of July, and we have gone through all of our bills. We have a few bills that we're having a quick hearing on this week, but we had nearly 300 bills that we worked through, ranging around everything from how government works, such as open meeting law, public records law, to public construction, basically anything that has to do with state or municipal purchasing, you name it, we had it.
Good, because that's something definitely that needs to be looked at.
Yeah. Well, if there were bills, we looked at it. So that's been quite a learning curve because I never sat on that committee before. So it's been super fun. But now we're here to talk about the budget primarily. And so quickly speaking, obviously the things that we all look at are unrestricted local aid in Chapter 70 as the highlights, right? So Chapter 70 in the governor's budget was increased by less than 1%, about $20 per pupil. And I know that impacts every city and town, whether you're in a region or independent district. So I've actually signed on to a letter requesting to increase that to $100 per pupil over last year's appropriation. So that would give a healthy boost, I think, to every city and town and school district.
How does that usually work? Because I know it's always a differing budget, obviously, and it goes back and forth. Does it usually fall somewhere in the middle, or on certain things?
So
education usually seems to.
It depends on where revenues are.
Yeah.
Like everything.
And they're up this year?
They're up. And so, and we'll get to that because the House just released a supplemental budget as well for this current fiscal year. But typically speaking, just as a quick overview, the whole budget process. So the governor creates a budget. And once that is out there, and it's based on sort of the agreed upon revenue figures for the state that the House, the Senate, and the governor's office work together to agree to.
Yeah, understood.
So the governor presents his budget, which is really his priority list, and then we throw it out, and we write our own budget. And so oftentimes, if revenues are still strong, in between, he releases his budget very early in the year. Ours is coming out April 11th. If revenues are strong in that period, we often try to increase in specific areas. Chapter 70 is always one of them. We generally try to beat the governor's numbers on that. That and local aid. There have been 2009, 2010. We didn't do that. For obvious reasons, but 2 years ago we increased Chapter 70 by $55 per student in an amendment on the floor. So that's what we'll be working on doing again this time. I know the budget increased by a few percent for unrestricted local aid. I think it was $26,000 in the governor's budget. I would call that the floor.
We get nothing. I've looked back at.
I think your numbers are 750,000.
Yeah, but it was. I've looked back to prior, back in the '90s and stuff, and it's fluctuated dramatically.
It has.
Chapter 90 mark has fluctuated quite a bit too, right? Is it?
No,
it's pretty much
one year. They added another $100 million.
Yeah.
I think that was Patrick's last year.
Right. That was
but it's
3
been
years ago.
$200 million for quite a while.
Right.
And actually, then they adjusted the formula, and we lost about $60,000.
Well, we're taking that up, I believe, on Thursday.
And the adjusted formula ended up going to Devon's, right?
Harvard.
If I recall.
Harvard.
Harvard. Oh, there's another question about Harvard.
Yeah, it has to do with accepted streets by the town and mileage and,
Yeah.
It was the employment population. They re-looked at
reapportioned.
Yeah, and said, those people were counted in error really.
Well, that's what they do with the lottery. I'm going to bring that up later or something like that. I had a question for it.
So last year, for FY18, which is our current year, you were at 756, and the House 2 budget, which is the governor's budget, has you at 782, a $26,469 increase. I will say that I'm hoping that is a floor. We won't go below it. Hopefully, we will do better. The other area that I always dog is the special ed circuit breaker.
Something near to dear to my heart, actually.
And so, obviously, we have only once in the whole time I've been in the legislature fully funded that. And that's an amendment I file every year. And so not only am I planning to file an amendment to the FY19 budget, but I'm also filing an amendment to this SUP budget that was just released to fully fund it.
And I appreciate that. I mean, my son has Down syndrome and special needs, and I think what's lost sometimes is educating these children in their school district is so important.
Absolutely.
And to outsource them costs the community much more than it does.
I agree. And actually, when I was a school committee member, I worked very hard to create more in-district programs for students, just like your son. And I'm a big believer in that.
And it's worked out fantastically for Jack. I mean, he's fully integrated over at the middle school in 7th grade now, and it's worked.
That's great.
And I know it doesn't work for all children, but it's something that it's a
well,
lot of work
students
for
who have a lot of medical needs that,
absolutely.
that
he
can't
has
often
diabetes
can't work.
and stuff like that. I mean, it can be handled, but he has a para. I mean, that costs more money than your average child, and other integration things. So I always get frustrated with that.
Yep.
It seems to me like that's something that should be fully funded every year.
For sure.
And I know we agree on that. I just
Yep. Yeah. So in the sub budget that was just released by the House, they added another, I can't remember, 12. I'll have to look at the numbers. They added some, I don't have the number right in front of me, which I should know this, but I am filing an amendment to increase it to the full 75% reimbursement, which is another, I think it was 12 million and another 29 million on top of that. So that we will be debating on this week. So hopefully that'll get in.
are we exempt from getting any money for regional transportation as well because we're region?
No.
Is that different? I'm sorry. I know
Yes.
there's something different because of the region. I'm sorry, I'm confused on what it was.
So you do get regional transportation aid to the district, and that's something I'm a member of the regional school caucus, and we're pushing to make sure that's fully funded this year. The one thing you will not be getting now is the regional bonus aid because you reached your last year.
That's what it is, yeah.
Right. So you already hit your last year in that. That's a multi-year sort of ramping down to help with those
And
transition
I think the
costs.
superintendent mentioned that in her budget too. That was
right.
kind of
So that will be gone as of this year.
Okay.
Okay, let's see. Now, I know the board had asked about a specific bill. We received a letter about the increasing special education circuit breaker and regional transportation reimbursement and linking those. That bill was not filed again. So that was the bill number we received through this email was from the 2013 session. So we actually took us quite a while to figure out what bill this was. So that bill was not refiled. There are a few other bills that address different parts of it, but there's nothing that is sort of a comprehensive linkage of these pieces. So I thought I should let you know that. We have some home rule petitions that we filed and worked through the legislature for the board and the town. 3 of those are before the governor now on his desk. The other one is in Senate bills in 3rd reading, and hopefully within the next 2 weeks that'll move. There was some language issue with that.
Oh, that
needed
was
some tweaking.
That's the amendment.
Yes.
Right.
Correct.
So, but the other 3 should be all set, and we're just waiting for the governor to get his pen out. So that is it.
All right.
So I have lots of other things we could talk about, but I will leave it to you to answer some questions. And
Well, first of all, I want to commend you for your help with the Nasoya issue that we've been dealing with for some time now.
Too long.
Too long. So I do appreciate that, you getting involved, because that has not been fun for anybody. And
No.
it's calmed down.
mostly the neighbors in the area.
Correct.
Right.
Yes. So thank you for that.
And I know they've made some a whole bunch of changes.
I think I forwarded you the email. Your office
Yes,
email
and I
about
had
the
talked
change
to
in,
the DEP as well. Everything from adding chemicals that would neutralize the odor to the wastewater to additional scrubbers to there's a whole bunch
Yeah,
of stuff and carting out the waste and disposing of it off site so that it's not all on site. So they are trying to do a whole variety of things.
I spoke with the CEO the other day. He called me randomly to tell me about the changes in work, and I believe they want to do the right thing. It's just the neighbors just here. It's like listening to Charlie Brown's teacher. Blah blah blah. You know, I mean, it's
well,
until
I don't
it's,
know. I think
until it's complete.
It doesn't
works.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's the frustration is that it feels like there's a lot of excuses and things aren't working, and they've brought in 3 different outside people to look through and make recommendations. DEP has gone really above and beyond to the point where, quite frankly, they're getting some heat from above because
For doing too much.
they're doing a lot of the first line engineering work that they're not supposed to do technically. So
I think I spoke to you about that on the last email. I said, "Wow, I wish I could get this type of insight."
yeah, exactly.
for free.
So you know, I think that there's a lot of people trying to make this better. Unfortunately, it seems to be a very evasive problem, like identifying exactly what it is. And when they think they have it, then something springs up someplace else. So hopefully that permanent fix of the thermal oxidizer, which is actually atypical application for that type of thing. It's usually used in, I guess, different circumstances for VOCs and not necessarily this kind of an odor issue. But they're hoping this is going to be the fix. So
It's been much better. It has. But we've said that before. But it's also going to take us one bad day, and we'll all be getting the
Right,
hit
exactly.
with the emails again. But hopefully that is resolved. A couple other things. I know we asked Senator Eldridge this, and I don't know if he did anything. We've been running into some issues, and it's actually on the agenda for later about implementing fines. The MBTA is, and we've spoke about this years ago with this.
Yep.
Is this is their dumping ground, Ayer. You can, I don't know if you drive through town during the day, but behind the train station is a wasteland. Selectman Luker brought some photos in from Sandy Pond Road the other day that railroad ties 40 high and hundreds deep.
Are they for staging, or are they just
They've been there.
carts?
The ones on Sandy Pond Road have been there for 2 years, and then the ones over here is waste. And then at Willow Road,
Yep.
I'm just where you have that little.
Yep.
That is their dumping ground. Pan Am owns the property.
Yep.
However, the MBTA is leasing it, and they did do a cleanup here last fall when we put the new fence in. And it was remarkable what they actually took out, and they could probably spend another 10 days a week. And I guess we don't see it in other communities. I always look at the MBTA and say, wow, they do a really nice job compared to Pan Am of cleaning up their debris and their ties and all that. I guess we just don't understand why.
Yeah, I have seen it in other communities,
Yeah.
but it's usually not in very visible places. So, for example, in going through Lunenburg into Leominster, in between there, it goes behind an industrial park, and I know there's a lot of waste back there because I've been back there. But it's not visible from the road. You have to actually go behind these buildings.
This
So-
is, you go to the train station and turn around, and it is
Right.
It's awful. I mean, just driving to the church on Easter, we were looking through there, and it was like, my God.
Yeah. Well, that's something I'm more than happy to bring up.
It's become more, I think, more prevalent. I don't think they've done much. I know we've brought it up every meeting. We're actually discussing fines later on.
And through the chair, Representative Benson, I can provide you with photos, of
That'd be
the
great.
spots that.
And everybody understands, if they're replacing the track, they have to bring in new ties and stack them. It might be a month. But the ones at Sandy
Sure.
Pond Road, I think, I would say at
Well,
least
the
2
double
years, Mark, right?
tracking is done, so it's not like
Yeah, but that's the frustration
ongoing. Just definitely shoot me that information, and we just met last week. The Fitchburg Rail Line Working Group is still meeting. We had our meeting last week, and I could have raised this, but I will definitely get it to the right people at the MBTA.
I mean, we still have our contacts too, but it's always, we're working on it now, this and that. It's this person's.
Yeah, but it doesn't hurt to be another voice.
Yeah, no, we would appreciate that because that's something we've really tried to concentrate on aesthetics in the last few years in town and clean stuff up. And when you see stuff like that.
Well, and with the parking situation, hopefully, finally we talked about that last week as well.
Yep.
And the plan for the vegetation plan, and the removal of the building, and it's really going to be.
It's going to be beautiful.
Much more
I just don't want to turn my back and see the wasteland.
Mr. Chair, through just on this point, Rep, one of the things I'll send you the photos where the platform is now that the building has been removed.
Yep.
If the MBTA just some screening during the interim, because now it's like an open. It looks like, I hate to say it, a junkyard on that end. So I'll send you those photos. So I think, between Mr. Boyle and some of the other folks, just some screening during this period would go a long way.
Yeah, I mean, something.
You'll see when I'll send that to you.
Yeah, it's really obvious, and it's been going on for a long time.
So just quickly, since we're talking about it, the other thing we talked about last week at the Fitchburg Rail Line meeting is Mart was there talking about.
We had Mart here last week too. It wasn't as probably friendly as it was at your meeting because they're way behind. It was okay.
It was friendly.
Yeah.
Well, we talked about expanding shuttle service to the area, and I don't know if maybe they provided this update too. They are looking at getting space at Devon's to create a new hub here so that they're not coming from Fitchburg and deadheading down in the Devon's region, that they can then spoke out.
Disperse from Devon's?
Correct. And so they would have office space, dispatch, and vehicle parking there, which could really and will really add a lot
How
of
has that worked?
service.
I mean, I see the bus. I mean, are people utilizing it?
It's worked very well, and appreciate the representative's support on that. That shuttle that's running now is getting quite a bit of use. It comes down to the station. So I think that idea, if
I agree.
Mark could set up a base.
They've already identified, Thatcher, whose last day was Friday.
That's unfortunate because we worked really well with him.
I know. But he was there. They had already identified office space, lot space for shuttle buses, and so I think that's really positive, and it'll be a great benefit for the region.
No, I agree. I've seen it over at the assisted living as well. I don't know if they stopped there down by Peroni. Yeah, so I see them there picking up. So that's great.
Well, it just expands access to the train stations as well.
Right.
There's only so much parking you can put in, and so this is a great opportunity.
Another thing we talked about and this really has nothing to do. I mean, we all complain about this. It was just happened to be when we were talking about healthcare, is just out of control. And I know it's not our politicians and our state; it's throughout the country, but it's really unsustainable. And I guess we really haven't seen an initiative. I mean, we have Obamacare, we have Romney Care, we have whatever you want to call it.
So we did in 2012, 13, pass a fairly comprehensive healthcare cost containment bill in Massachusetts, which did have an impact. Unfortunately, I think it put checks and balances in place for premium increases and cost increases. So it created a benchmark that if premiums rose above that, they had to give money back to their consumers. It capped how much of a premium a dollar could go toward overhead. So only 20% of your premium dollar can go toward administrative costs. The rest has to go toward your care and patient care. So we did things to try to curb that cost increase. The problem is that, drug costs are increasing. There's so many other areas that are increasing.
No, I agree.
Faster than we can regulate.
It's a shame because we can regulate National Grid from raising their rates. We can regulate, all those companies. And then the insurance companies can just come in and say, what was our increase in the town this year?
On the health insurance?
On the health insurance.
It ended up being 12.5%, but we budgeted for 17. And
But we got hit last
Right,
year.
but
Show the
still,
health group
right.
had to do an enormous amount of mitigation.
Sure,
So,
sure.
But we've had years where it's been 19%.
Right.
It's double-digit increase
And
every year.
as a small business, I pay over $2,000 a month for my
Right.
health care. And I have a better plan because of my son and issues and stuff. But
No, I get it.
it's-
Believe me,
it's-
we pay it too.
And I know you all do. I
Right.
just, I haven't really seen the full on discussion
So
of
we
what
are
we can do.
working on another health care bill in the
Mhm.
House, so this is timely. What has slowed us down, quite frankly, unfortunately, was the death of the chairman of the Healthcare Finance
Mhm.
Committee. So I don't know if you saw that
Mhm.
news.
I
And
did.
so we are working off of his notes, and the majority leader is actually trying to craft a bill. It's going to end up probably being smaller in scope than we originally anticipated because it's now getting late in the session. But it honestly couldn't be helped. So we are looking at, and including some of my legislation, looking at providing better care and treatment options to people while still addressing and being cognizant of that cost factor. And, quite frankly, I know the health plans are really worried about these increasing costs, but the problem is some of the policies that they put in place to try to rein in costs are actually costing more over the long run because they're withholding treatment from people who need it for longer periods of time. And so, for example, I have a bill that that addresses the step therapy protocol that a lot of health plans have in place, which means if your doctor prescribes a medication for you that is a frontline medication but it may be new and expensive, your health plan can deny it and make you take other medications, up to 3 different medications that you have to fail on first.
Yeah, and that's pretty
before
common.
they will allow you to get the original prescription that your doctor required. What we're seeing is for some patients who have very significant health issues, like ulcerative colitis is one that I've talked to patients, this has happened to them. By not getting those treatments early enough, they then end up with significant surgeries and lifelong health issues. So even though, yes, maybe for this year or the next 3 months, they're saving some money because they're not spending the
it's a long-term
$2,500
approach, yeah.
on a prescription. They're only spending $400. But
The person has a stroke in the meantime because they didn't have the right medicine. Yeah,
right,
then
the
yeah,
ongoing
long-term care,
long-term costs. And unfortunately, our health system is set up to only look at those short-term costs because you could change your health plan next year. And why should that health plan care about necessarily your long-term health benefits?
Or they could change your health plan too. They
Or they can
They
change
did
it.
that to me this
So
year. Oh, by the way,
that's one of the problems with longitude. We don't have a lot of longitudinal sort of healthcare planning because health plans don't do that. They don't. They plan year to year. They look at you as they've got you for 1 year.
Yeah, it's just. I just see it as a long-term, huge issue
It is a
for
huge
all of
issue.
us in every municipality.
Well, the other thing is, I mean, not to interrupt, but I mean, you can tell this is a passion of mine. We spend many times more than any other developed country in the world on healthcare, and our outcomes, the regularly measured outcomes like infant mortality rates, are the worst of all developed countries, and are worse than even many what we would call third world countries.
Is that because because you go to the doctors and they build out $1,700 and they get paid $150 from the
Well,
insurance
it's
company?
a lot of different reasons. One
Yeah.
is cost; it's prohibitive. If you can't afford to go to the doctor, you're not getting your prenatal checkups. That leads to higher risk pregnancies. A whole host of things that happen. But clearly, our needs and our payment mechanisms are not aligned.
Yeah. So, obviously nothing that you can correct on your own, but it's just, we brought it up and we've been talking about it here.
Have
I'm
been
sure
trying.
you're getting, yeah, no, I understand. I think we all agree something has to be done.
Yes.
I guess.
Well, along that too, and to at least it's said out loud, is you have perhaps a situation where someone is trying to get off drugs.
Right.
So they're trying to get into a rehab. Oh, well, we have beds, but I'm sorry, that bed is not for your particular
Right.
payment level.
Right.
There's an empty bed. There should be no payment level.
Right. And
Okay,
that's
then,
why.
and it's the same thing. Then you're fighting an insurance company to, this person is in mental health needs. This person is talking about committing suicide. But you're right. Let's let them sit in an emergency room
For
for
3
2
days.
days, and nobody makes a phone call to try to get that person. No, they're looking at the person who wants to commit suicide and saying, well, you need to make the phone call. We don't know who to call.
No, you're
they're in a hospital. They're in an emergency room. Why isn't someone there doing that phone call? Because obviously the person who wants to commit suicide might not be quite coherent at the moment.
Yeah.
And then you get somebody, I'm sorry, I'm on a bit of a roll.
Yeah.
I'm on a bit of a roll.
That's all right.
But then you get somebody, okay, you finally get them into a facility. Oh, wait, you can only spend 2 weeks because we think you're okay. So we're going to send you home with a bunch of meds that you can't pay for. Oh, we found a halfway house. You have to pay for the halfway house. Oh, I'm sorry, you don't have a job or money? Well, somebody has to come and pay for the money. That's fine. Let me get on the phone and will you take my credit card? No, I can't take your credit card. That's fine. Everybody else on the entire planet Earth can take my credit card. But you're right. Let me leave work and drive 300 miles to get to you.
She is on a roll.
Money on payment. Oh wait, you'll take a little money card that I can, deposit money on. You'll take that, but you don't have like an online payment. And oh God forbid, you don't even have a phone number through an admin office so somebody can even call you to even find out how their relative is.
Well, you said it better than I would.
Maybe you should get down there on
Yeah.
the Senate floor and.
So-
No one will hand me the cast iron frying pan to go down. I really want to go down to Congress and just, I've been wanting to do this for
think
like
we all
30
do.
years, whack them all upside the head because
me
there
too.
is no
We
common
all do.
sense
Go.
entering
I'll
the
try.
room anymore.
Thelma and Louise going
Yeah,
to Congress.
we-
So I will say you are correct. But this kind of gets back to why it costs so much when we get so little for it. Because sitting 3 days in an ER is the most expensive care you could possibly get.
Absolutely.
And you're taking up space from other people who truly need the ER when you could be moved to something more appropriate that will actually treat you and not house you. And that's why we have been working on increasing the number of state beds, the beds that take Mass Health or whatever. And so
Mass Health has been known to kick mothers off birth control, but you can your baby can have the prescription.
right. No,
A
you're right.
6-week-old wants a
You're right.
prescription for birth control, but the mother who's trying to maybe not have another 6-week-old can't have the birth control. Again, could we start connecting
Right.
dots?
Right. Yeah, and for sure. And so Mass Health, if we work a lot with people on Mass Health, and we have run into this. It is all need based, and so if you have any kind of, and it's really hard, if you have any kind of fluctuating income. You are a server in a restaurant. You work part-time. You pick up shifts here and there. You go over that allowed amount in 1 month, you're kicked off. The next month, you're back on. And so it's this lack of continuity of care because it's all pay tested. Your ability to pay every single month is checked. So you can be kicked off and put back on, kicked off and put back on. And so that's bad. But when you're talking about mental health and substance abuse, one of the things that we did and have pushed is to get a centralized bed registry. So if you go into the hospital, you're in the ER, you have a relative or whoever that needs care, continuing care, that hospital should be able to go online or make one call and find out every bed that's available in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts for that particular patient. So if that patient needs a state bed because they don't have an ability to pay. They should be able to find that information out. Now there are, and I know in a couple different places in the region, there are some private treatment facilities that have opened up, and they will turn people away who do not have money.
Absolutely. I mean,
And so it's like long-term care for an aging parent. You know, there are some beds that you can get.
We treat our prisoners better than we treat our elderly.
well, I mean, you see it.
Our prisoners will get the 40-inch plasma TV. Or, and I'm not saying don't
Depends
treat
which
our
prison
I was going to say, I've done a lot of work in the prisons. I haven't seen any 40-inch plasma.
Prison, don't treat prisoners
Yeah.
decent.
Right.
But there's something seriously wrong. And
Right.
until everyone just wake up and smell the coffee. You don't want to drink it, that's fine, but smell it, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of things.
problems.
I mean, we
You
could
know,
we could
I
go
mean,
on
it's just-
forever. I mean, I know there's
Well, you get to go on a roll. I can go
No,
on
no,
a
no,
roll
no, no,
too.
no. I'm agreeing with
Absolutely.
you. I'm just saying in terms of I'm talking about in general about
No,
the healthcare
absolutely.
system.
They're both on a roll. We're going to need more chapters.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know, that's true.
But I mean, you could probably spend the next 20 years investigating and trying to. I mean, we get it. I mean, it's frustrating to all of us. I know. I mean, I don't think there's anybody that says the healthcare system is fantastic. I just, in my layman's knowledge of it, see a huge issue when it's every year we're having to open up contracts because we've had to, bring up insurance costs, and we just
For
did
sure.
it again. And it's,
But I will say, I will close this conversation with one thing. That my concern is, and we saw it here in Massachusetts, if we eliminate, whether you call it Obamacare, Romneycare, whatever it is, even though costs are still going up quickly, if you look at when Obamacare was put into place, they were going up and it dipped, and the curve going back up is shallower, and more people have access to health care. And so the best way to bring down healthcare costs is to have healthier people. And to have healthier people, you need to have access to health care in a timely manner on a regular basis and preventative care. And so if people lose that access, here in Massachusetts, we have 98% of the people in Massachusetts covered under some form of insurance or mass health. If we lose that, we go farther and farther behind, and those costs are going to keep going up more and faster.
I agree with
so, so we have to bear that in mind. What we have is not perfect. I am the first one to admit it, but it's better than having large numbers of people uncovered by anything.
No, I agree.
So
I agree.
we
I
need to
think-
build
I think
on what
a lot
we
of
have.
The fuss came though is it has to be marketed right, and everyone will always remember the comment, "We have to pass it before we can find out what's in it."
Yeah, well, that's
Yeah, that was an
That was
unfortunate
just
comment.
that, and that ruined
Yeah.
it because
Right.
that's all anyone heard.
Of course.
And they'll still remember it, and they don't pay attention to anything else.
right.
So if you have a product that not bad, has issues, but it's not bad. But the person who's
Sure.
selling it better go take a marketing class because you just shot yourself in the foot.
Yep. No, you're right. Dumb.
Yeah. Another question we had for you, and I don't know if you've seen this. It was in the Globe. Can you pass this, Tom?
Oh, golly.
Yeah, sorry. I was actually going to send this to you earlier, but we got home late from work.
This was
Who figures this? Jamie told me it is what it is, and I never liked that answer.
What?
Yeah, he said it's not going to change, but when you see Harvard sells zero
Yep.
lottery, they receive $1.3 million in lottery revenue. Ayer
Yeah.
sells $7.8 million, receives $700,000, and then you get Boxborough 1.3, it's 230. I mean, everybody
Right.
has
It
access.
has. One has nothing to do with the other. Yeah, the Harvard one is the one that stands out to me, for obvious reasons. But the lottery. So you might remember back 10, 15 years ago, the lottery funds were capped because they were sending it back to cities and towns as their local aid, and then the lottery sales were going up, and the state needed the revenue, and the state capped it and retained a portion of that revenue. So that was wrong. So in 2009, I think, we uncapped that to make sure all the money goes back to cities and towns, which it does. And it is done so on a formulaic basis.
It looks to be a bad formula to me.
It looks to be a bad formula. So I did not see this when it was in the Globe.
Yeah, the senator said it's not going to change. It is what it is, and I didn't. I spoke to my friends in Littleton too, and they said, "Are you kidding me?"
Yeah,
They
that's
actually only
crazy.
get $45,000 less. But the way I look at it is, I mean, we sell the tickets, but you also we're getting
coming over here to buy the
you know, we get the traffic, we get the the congestion on the roads, people coming
Sure.
to
Right,
and
right.
I know there's not anything you can't fix. I just would
That's not
some
true.
clarification.
I mean, there's a few things we need to do. One is, and your battery level was really low on your phone.
Yeah, it
You're
was. It
looking
was
at-
the end of the day.
So one thing we need to do is get better data on exactly what that formula is and how it is sent to cities and towns. And then within that, we have to figure out which portion of that is off, right?
Mm-hmm.
So is it based, how much of it is based on lottery sales versus property valuation versus income level versus size, population? What's the magic number in that?
Mm-hmm.
And then we figure out, is that something that needs to be changed? And we can file legislation to do that. So I think it's going to take some research to figure out exactly why this seems skewed the way it is. But if
you can find the article too, the Harvard, Harvard.
but if we
The
can,
article explained it.
Yeah, and the
it had
Harvard-
something to do with Devon's.
And the Harvard town manager was kind of, it came across, I don't know the gentleman, so forgive me, but it came
So-
across
It was
as
a
pompous
political
as,
deal that someone
and he
made.
basically said, we fund our police department with this, and I'm going to raise a huge stink if this changes. Because the Globe actually went and said, what is this?
Yeah, the
It's not that his fault.
pretty detailed.
but is it,
Yeah.
okay, well, I need to go back and read it.
Yeah, this was
So-
about a year and a half ago. I just, someone sent it to me recently. And
But then again, Harvard stole half of my.
well, there's another issue.
So somehow Harvard,
Wow.
Harvard has something
Okay.
going on.
We lost our Chapter 90 money, even though you have to drive through Ayer, our roads, to get to the roads that they apparently get credit for. Not that we're beating on.
town has the right.
And if I was Harvard, I wouldn't want to give that up either. I get it. I just.
No. But there's got to be a reason for. Is it because of the historic boundaries of Devon's that's being calculated? I mean, there's got to be a
On the
reason.
lottery.
There was some political reason why it was done when they initially.
But political meaning, it was.
Yeah.
That could have a lot of different meanings.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't. I mean, I think Thatcher was great. I trust mass development. Some of these things, as far as I can throw them, in terms of how contracts are given out and stuff like that. I mean, so I know this doesn't have to do with mass development, but I'm just saying, political.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
We need
I
to-
just figured I'd show that
We
to
need
you.
to
and-
get Deb Goldberg in here to explain this to you.
Yeah, that's actually not a bad idea. Just thought I'd show you that if you hadn't seen it.
Yeah,
'Cause
well,
I've
a
been
year and a
asked
half
about
ago, I may have seen it at the time and forgotten.
Yeah, it's been a little bit. I don't know if the date's in there or not, but just something to. I was surprised when Jamie said it is what it is, and it's not going to change. So
Well,
I figured we'd ask again.
Is what it is.
So overall, I
I
mean,
never say that.
the town. I mean,
Because you can change anything. It's
I
just laws.
agree.
Laws can be changed.
Speaking of that, I think this.
I'm not
community-
saying they should be broken. I'm just saying they can be changed.
No, they can be sometimes. You know.
And one of the things that rubbed me the wrong way on that whole Chapter 90 thing, because when I noticed it and I called up and they said, oh, we looked at your employment population and determined some of the buildings we were counting in from Devon's that we were counting in Ayer are really in Harvard. And I said, could you share that data with me? And they said, no, that's confidential.
Whoa. Wait, who
And
said
I
this?
called Senator Eldridge's office and I called a whole bunch of other people and I never got a straight answer.
Wait, who said it
It's,
was confidential? Mass Development?
No. It was the group that does the census or does that.
Confidential.
calculation.
So through DPW?
No.
Or I mean, not
it's Mass
DPW. I
DOT,
mean,
no, it was-
DOT?
It's one of the employment divisions in the
Okay.
and I talked to the person who did it, and she said, I can't tell you it's confidential.
Oh, really?
Well, that explains why Harvard gets $1.3 million. And
I didn't think anything was confidential.
Josh,
except for-
are you taking notes? Okay. Josh Badarian is my district director.
Hi, Josh.
And so he knows what he's doing tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just something to bring up. I mean, there's
So
always
that
something.
was for the Chapter 90.
Yeah, that was several years ago.
Right.
And
Because I remember we
um,
talked about this last year.
Yeah.
Right.
And,
But this is different. Lotteries.
And I think the other thing that bothered me about it was that it just, I got the letter and I'm reading the letter and I'm going, wait a minute, how come I don't know? No one ever contacted us and told us that, oh, by the way, we readjusted your formula and this was it.
Well.
And then it takes the 5 phone calls before you.
Can I tell? All right, so if we're griping here, my current committee, we have a lot of all the home rule land bills, so land transfers come through my committee.
God bless you.
And
As someone who just dealt with DCR with the lot over there.
Thank you for your help.
Yeah.
Yes.
As you know.
so we are calling DCAM, DCR, whoever, but mostly them all the time, and the IG's office, because everything needs to have sort of a review to make sure there's nothing shady going on. And it takes them sometimes months to get back to me, and we have bills that we have to move.
Of course.
So I have reps and senators calling me saying, why aren't you moving this bill that is, for a veterans hall? We're donating the land, and how come we can't get it through? It's because one of these fine agencies.
Yeah, we refer to
Can't
them
get-
slightly different, but
Yes.
I
It's
understand.
very, very frustrating. So I just wanted you to know that they do the same thing.
so you share our frustration.
Yes.
I mean, and we've dealt
Although
with it
I
with
do
Master-
get to partially control their budget now.
Oh, good.
So,
So
and they
that's,
still don't respond.
But we've dealt with that with mass development and before Thatcher. But when the police contract came up, and I know we expressed some interest in providing that service, and looked into it, and then all of a sudden, if I recall, and correct me if I'm wrong, the rules kind of changed through the process. If I recall it, you had to be part of the regional dispatch suddenly. Once we put together a package,
If you
am I
recall,
correct, Chief?
If you recall, Mr. Chair, the bid was conveniently written that there was only one entity, which was the Mass.
Yeah, there was only
Police,
one-
that could ever meet the criteria.
So
of
the
the
town
bid.
administrator and the chief and his department went through the whole thing, and we were gonna, we were the only
I remember
town
this.
that was really that could provide the service.
Yeah.
And then last second, oh well, sorry, we changed that. Same with the school contract. I mean, if I recall, the last time that it came up to go back to Harvard, it was kind of approved before anybody knew it. Not that I want to switch kids from schools or anything like that. I don't think that should be, but it's rebid. Oh, by the way, it's been awarded. Well, thanks for letting us know over here.
Well, I think part of the bidding process for that, if I recall, this is a while ago, that there was a stipulation to re-up the current contract for a certain amount of time. So so basically they had the right of first refusal before it would open up to an open bid. And that was in the original contract, I think.
But if we so if we did that, it would be a whole different. Like if we changed something in the middle of a, how that would play.
Yeah.
But
well.
I mean, I think it's been better since Thatcher, and I hope they find someone like him over there because it was a huge difference from him to George Ramirez.
No,
I
he was
felt
great
they
to
were-
work with.
Yeah, they
For
were much
sure.
more open and much more. I think you found that too, Mark, right? To deal with them over there.
No, we get along pretty well.
Yeah.
with DPW over there, we share a lot.
Yeah. So I felt, but that was it.
They're a good group.
Mr. Chair, if I
Yeah.
could on the land, just
Oh,
thank the state.
Bryce Valeri, Mrs. Capasso. So we have started a program that Bryce is a student reporter from the high school. And this is Mrs. Capasso. She's an English teacher up there. And it's been working out great. We should send you some of the articles, but they come every meeting and then they write something for up and we post it. And there's,
She gets a bit of laughing sometimes.
but it's been really good.
Some meetings are very
Yeah.
exciting, and then other meetings, it's kind of like, okay.
But it's worked out really
Yeah.
well, and some of the articles have been fantastic.
Yeah, they're doing a terrific
Our-
job.
We've seen
That's
a
great.
local reporter once in 18 months, so we need to get some stuff.
We're a
out to
boring
them.
town as far as the newspapers are concerned.
Yeah, we all get along and
Well,
get stuff done.
In some ways, that's good.
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
well,
we don't
yeah,
disagree.
We kind of like it. Yeah.
Yes.
Good night.
Thank you. We'll see you in a couple weeks.
Mr. Chairman,
Yep.
through you, I just wanted to thank the state representative in her office when we're talking about land for all of your help with the transfer of the rail trail lot to the town of Ayer.
Yes,
It only took 4 years with DCAM and the DCR, and it's all done, but I do appreciate
Yes,
all
thank you
of
about that. We mentioned this regularly,
your
and
help and support
God,
with
it has
that.
been 4 years.
yeah,
now.
and
Yes.
Carly still works here. She didn't run away after that.
Did all of the lion's share on the local end, but we appreciate your support there. And it just goes to show you a very basic concept of an existing lot that we're already doing most of the maintenance on, to just
Oh, I
transfer
know.
it, as you know, transfer it just to the town. It took
Well,
4 years.
Yeah,
And that
I
was
think
with
it's-
both Representative Harrington, Representative Benson, Senator Eldridge, Congresswoman Songus, this board.
You were at the meeting 4 years ago when we sat here, and I think you
I
guys called her
remember.
the no woman, or Sheila called her the no woman from the FDA. Was it federal?
Yeah, I'm trying to
No.
remember.
And it was,
it-
I forget who it was, but it was just, we were like banging our heads against the wall. It was, no. And we all worked it out, but
Yeah,
It was-
well,
can be
ultimately, I think my conversation with the DCR commissioner, who was then holding things up, what was it, a year and a half ago, I think it's the first time I may have used unkind language to a commissioner of an agency.
I haven't done that yet. No,
I was very angry.
yeah, no, I can understand your frustration because it's, I don't know. It's in the private world and the political world sometimes boggles the mind.
It does. It does. Absolutely.
But if you could be any help, I mean, we can transmit the photos and stuff.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
would
oh, for
connect
sure.
with her.
And I'm not saying the MBTA, I mean, they're usually pretty, I mean, we have a pretty good relationship with them in terms
We have
of,
two entities, the MBTA and Pan Am.
right.
I mean, you'll see in the photos who we believe owns what.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
know
I
how the
think-
railroad gets to.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
that's another.
yeah,
whole
and it's,
thing.
well, they own it, they owned it, and they go back 400 years, and they can't, no, and we're still finding out who owns this little piece over here. They can't seem to find that
Yes,
out.
there is a small piece of land that has been 6 years between Pan Am legal and MBTA legal.
Neither one pays taxes on it,
It
but-
doesn't impact the project anyway, thank God.
Right.
But
they don't
it's
know.
this no man's land, and it's about the size of.
Yeah, we were gonna make a little
This
pocket
table?
park. Yeah, like a little, yeah, exactly.
But when I heard Pan Am legal and MBTA legal need to get together, the new geological age was upon us.
Yes, that's correct. That's correct.
So we appreciate you coming out.
Sure.
Thank you.
It's always
Always nice to see you.
informing,
Always good to see you too.
and your help with Nasoya and all those other things is much appreciated.
Yes, well, I'm very excited. I have a long chain of emails about Nasoya, and I get every odor complaint. I get an official copy of
You're on
every
the-
odor
Yeah,
complaint.
yep.
Reporting
So,
service.
Yeah, I've
and-
seen a few of those too. I'm
Yeah.
already
So-
And lucky you weren't copied on the other one the other day, and I said, well, I got to forward this to Representative
I know, and I
Benson.
read it too. Yes, I did. Yeah.
So we're keeping
And
you
Josh
in-
reads them all too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's riveting.
Yeah,
Yes.
they're despite my loud tone towards their CEO, I think he's a good guy. I do, and I know they want to do the right thing. I had to go a little rogue there with notifying their buyers, but I think it might have worked.
Yeah. Well, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah. So hopefully we have good news on that summer months, or we will all hear about it
Awesome.
daily.
Thank you.
Thank you. Rick.
Nice to see you. Thanks
All
for.
right, good to
I saw
see
you were in
you.
Boxborough last night, so you're making the rounds, huh?
Oh, absolutely. I'm on tour.
How many towns are you covering?
6.
That's tough. That's a lot of work.
Josh, good to see
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, it's hard doing
Yeah.
one.
I'll be in
It
touch.
is.
All right.
It's hard doing one.
Keep your eye open for some water treatment on the
Yeah.
Oh, and that's the other thing. I mean, with the Army, I mean, we're probably gonna. I mean, we're obviously
I was just
entering
gonna
into
say,
that
we'll be in
with.
touch
Right.
with-
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm sure you're probably aware of it, but that we don't
And
know how
I
that's
was
gonna.
happy to submit a letter on behalf of your grant application as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
we just do all this work together.
Yes, absolutely. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right.
All right, nice to see you both. Nice to meet you. Have a good night.
Oh,
Can we have to wait for Janice, right? To come back. It's just one of us, or you can go. Right? We're not voting on anything, right?
Yeah, no, it's just, I have a brief update,
Yep.
so it's no action items, because
Okay.
there's no,
Yeah, she just went to the bathroom.
quorum, but there's no action.
That was good. It's
Yeah.
always good to have him here.
So, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, just briefly, we're in that final stretch leading up to May 14th, Monday, May 14th at 7 p.m. is the annual town meeting up at the high school. As you're aware, there'll be a joint meeting of the Finance Committee and the Board of Selectmen on April 17th.
This is just where we go around, pass, and discuss the warrant
Right,
articles.
so at that meeting, we'll be reviewing the FY19 budget and the warrant for approval for town meeting. The warrant has to be sent for printing and mailing by April 20th, and then it will be sent to all households in Ayer prior to.
And we do
the
have
town-
official citizens petition, if I recall.
Yes,
It's Mr. Pattenden?
Yeah, so,
File some?
in terms of deadlines, the warrant closes on Friday, April 13th at noon for all warrant articles and citizens petitions through the town clerk. There is a certified citizens petition that we received last Friday, which is requesting a change to the transfer station hours.
That is a little more difficult than,
So,
it's part of a contract,
yeah,
right?
we'll discuss.
Okay.
As you're aware, all citizens petitions are advisory in nature, and all citizens petitions have to be printed in the warrant exactly as how they are submitted. So, in other words, when you see this, I'm just saying the
Yeah,
language.
you can't change it
But
based on.
it seeks to, and I did send it to the DPW superintendent. It seeks, if you read it, to have the transfer station.
I don't necessarily
close,
disagree with him.
believe,
I
at
just
3
know it's.
o'clock or
I think back to the original
Yeah.
hours, so they don't, in the summertime, I think it closes at 1 or 2
Yeah.
o'clock, right?
But we'll discuss on this.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, and
just
this
not,
looks to go back to the 3 o'clock, I believe.
I don't believe in the whole summer hours anyway.
So we'll discuss that on the 17th. That's the only citizens petition to date. The election will be on April 23rd, Monday the 23rd.
Meet on the 24th?
Pardon?
Do we meet on the 24th?
You're scheduled to meet on the 17th, and then the next meeting is May 1st.
Okay.
But if the board needs to meet again, we.
Oh, no, I just,
Yeah.
sometimes the election falls the day before our next meeting, which is just
Mhm.
interesting if it's a new member.
So it's sort of just a budget snapshot. That was my report for this evening, because we've covered a lot of the things that we have been working on
Okay.
moving forward. So again, the election, April 23rd. The Board of Selectmen and FinCom on the 17th will approve the budget and the warrant for town meeting. Town meeting is on the 14th of May at 7 p.m. at the high school.
When do we meet again?
It's gonna be 4 nights.
Pardon?
4 nights. It's going to be hopefully 45 minutes. When do we meet again?
The Board of Selectmen. the
We're back on
17th.
our regular schedule,
You're
right?
back on your regular.
So our next meeting is until the 17th of April, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so
Thinking-
next
I
week
was-
is the
right, got it.
10th, is an off week.
So this is our first and third.
Yeah, with all
Got
the
it.
March
Right.
snow and.
Sorry, we've been meeting
I
a lot.
know,
Yeah.
we've gotten used to seeing each
I
other
know.
every
And we're going to
Tuesdays.
we're meeting as a board next week? Are we
No, so
convening?
No.
just to be clear, the email I sent, I was going to.
I didn't read, I saw it right when I was sitting here, so I
The
didn't get a chance to read it.
DEP has, the meeting is going to be here.
Mm-hmm.
The DEP, I believe it's next Tuesday
Mhm.
at 7,
Mm-hmm.
has asked for a meeting. Obviously, I will be there, Mark will be there, representatives from the board, and if there's going to be more than
All right,
one
so it's
will-
not an official board
Yeah,
meeting?
it's not an official
Okay.
board meeting, but the purpose of the meeting is the DEP and the U.S. Army to discuss this whole well issue.
When they're going to give us the $5 million to fix it? Yeah.
Right, this whole,
Understood.
next steps on that.
Okay, I wasn't sure if we were
Yeah.
meeting as a board, that's all. Okay.
Right, so, no, your next regular scheduled meeting after the 17th of April would be May 1st.
Yep.
So, so that's where we're at. In the interest of time, I
Yep.
just, we're working-
So the railroad tie fines, have we gotten anything back from council on what we can do?
Yes, so on the railroad tie fines, I just have a couple of points, and what I respectfully be requesting a motion
Mhm.
is, as we look at this, the ultimate goal is to get this all cleaned up. And so
Mhm.
and I appreciate,
And you may have noticed when you were down
yeah,
Wagon Road when they were doing that work last week, I know you
Mhm.
went down to check on it. What is there?
so the area of, unlike specific, what I've learned from council, unlike specific dollar amount fines or so forth, and these rail fines,
Mhm.
what communities have done is the Board of Selectmen have authorized a formal notice, if you will. What I'd be asking tonight for the board to authorize, it would come from the board. And the notice would identify, and we're in the process of just finishing that. And I apologize for tonight. I had some photos, but
we all do. I think.
Right.
I mean, everybody's
So
seen them.
We
Yeah.
have the notice specifically identifies the locations, and in this case, we have two entities that we know of that still exist, because when you deal with the railroad, some of it gets, there's Pan Am sites and there's MBT.
How about just all of them? I mean, just like I said, where you had to visit with the culvert in the woods there. I mean, you see
Right.
400 ties just flipped in the wetlands, and I
Right.
mean, you or I did that would be, in
And
the
I
conservation
learned-
court in a second.
I learned that some of those Selectmen Hillmen actually got moved there from Littleton because of complaints in Littleton, the ones in your neck of the woods. So we have to move them
This
down
will
the
stop
line.
eventually.
Right.
I
So
promise you.
we
And
would-
we're fighting back.
We'd be looking for a motion to issue notice, and what that is to Pan Am and to the MBTA for all of.
And these are stacked ones, loose ones.
Yes.
I mean, does conservation get involved? I'm assuming Joanne would like to at some
That was
point.
the second piece. So the conservation agent had been away last week. So connecting with her, there is some conservation enforcement.
Well, yeah, I mean,
areas.
just in my area, like you saw.
And Chief Pedrazi also.
It's a fire hazard too.
Yes,
to stack
there's a
those.
specific, he was going to get this to me because he said in his experience here, he has had some times where it's a specific, it's in the state statute that it reaches a certain size that it becomes, and he's invoked that to remove that.
Yeah, I know he's had success and they've been good with that, but I mean the ones on Sandy Pond that Gary brought the picture of, I mean, that ever caught on fire. That could be
And see, the
huge.
other thing is on the Willow Road substation, I'm calling it that. That was put, as you know, that came up when they were doing the double tracking. Well, the double tracking is done.
It's
And
a dumping ground
it
now.
needs to be cleaned
And
up.
they also have it over here at their facility, the old Madigan building that they're renting is become.
So on that Willow Road location, it needs to be tidied up. I'm not talking about the ties. That's got to go. But put screening and a better fence, because that gate is open all the time, and there's like a portable toilet in there and so forth.
Well, I can't even imagine if you did a 21E there with all the contaminants and the smell. Remember I showed those
Right.
pictures in the middle of last summer and everything was brown.
And there's
Nothing was growing.
There's a bent hydrant there that the fire chief, and I'm talking to Mark now that he's back, we're going to remove that because it's not needed.
Yeah.
And I guess they get calls on that from time to time from concerned
I don't know,
citizens.
how do you hook up a hose to that if
Right.
you're fighting a fire with over the tracks?
So,
but.
I have also talked to, you always in this business meet new people, and in the towns of Upton and Grafton and some of the other rail towns that I've talked to are approaching it this way. In other words, so conservation, fire, and then through this notice. So the first step is we give them notice, and this has a timeline from that they have I think it's 10 days to respond with a plan, once they receive notice. And council saying, as always, is with the other enforcement things the board has done that have been successful, is to tee that up. But a lot of these rail towns are dealing with it.
And like I said, from what I was told, the towns that make
Yes.
the noise are the ones that are
Yep.
immaculate, because those are the ones they concentrate on.
Yep.
And,
And also, too, from council, there are ways, too, because we believe a multi-prong approach. Also, the Board of Health can also play a role depending on, depending on the situation. Because in addition to rail ties, we have other debris and so forth.
and not to affect, I mean, the DPW and the railroad worked
Yeah.
fantastic, thanks to Mark's guys last week, to avert that flooding situation. I mean,
Yeah.
our guys, so I mean, we don't want to affect that, but they have to be.
Yeah.
We can't be a dumping ground anymore.
And then the last thing, where the platform is, which I think...
There really needs to be, like you said, some,
Right.
almost like you see on the highway, the sound barriers or something like that, where it's
Screening
staggered.
and-
Yeah,
right, for the aesthetics.
that it just looks
So
awful. And you or I couldn't do that in our yard. And Charlie would be down there in a second, along with conservation. So and we're not dealing with creosote ties. So you need a motion
I
to,
need you to authorize to issue the notice to the railroad.
and then second, and that would eventually lead to fines if it
Yes.
is not. Okay, so
Yeah.
we can implement this right away.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, very enthusiastic aye. So Mark will write something up, or you write something
Yeah,
up?
we'll put together the notice, which will include all of the photos, which we have. You'll see it.
Did you you want me to send some from the Wagon Road stockpile?
Sure.
I don't know if when you go down to the left, there's a nice big stockpile there as well.
And we'll keep working at it.
No, I mean, I think it's a good first step. I mean, if we get their attention and we get them cleaned up, that'd be great. Or at least it's moving that way. Great. Minutes.
All right, I'd like to make a motion that the Board of Selectmen approve the meeting minutes from March 20th, 2018 and March 27th, 2018.
I second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'll
So,
sign them tonight.
Madam Vice Chair, Madam Clerk.
we have to pay her more. She's had that title for quite a while this year.
Mr. Chairman, before you arrived, she asked me what else she could do.
So that concludes our open session of tonight's meeting. We will move into executive session pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 30, Section 21A, collective bargaining, as discussing an open session could be detrimental to the town's bargaining position. We will be adjourning from executive session, not to re-enter into open session.
Seconded.
All in favor? Janice?
Aye.
Chris? Aye. We are in executive